Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to today's video. I have my cup of coffee here ready. I'm Chris with Daily Wave Cafe. So let's get started. I tell you, I don't like this market. I don't. I don't like it. It's it's acting weird. And I have some charts to show you. But it's just frustrating um when the market is in an uptrend and it's in one of the impulsive legs of the market. People are making money. And I can tell you the truth, I haven't been able to make a whole lot, and it frustrates me. And this tells me that we are in the stage of the market where either I have no idea what I'm doing and how to generate profits in here with the wave counts, with some of the strategies I use, uh, or the market is in a stage where it just doesn't allow for profit somehow. I'm not gonna, because I feel that I just need to scramble, to find good setups. And there are times when the market is on the give, when it gives everybody, right. It's moving, it's impulsive, it's got direction. And there are times when it's on the take, when it's just kind of whippy up and down. You have to be very selective with the stocks, and it just doesn't work. So I'm here just explaining my frustration. Maybe some of you feel the same. Maybe not. Maybe you're rocking it. So let me know. But for me, things just don't work at the moment. So I'm continuing to wait. I'm continuing to be hedged. The hedges don't work either much. So I don't know what's going on. So anyhow, I think we're. I mean, if you look on the right here at the S&P, it, does it smell like it's some kind of an ending structure? It's just overlapping. The waves are moving from um, a little bit of a wider range, smaller, and smaller still. Am I seeing things? Am I seeing this? I posted a bunch of stuff on Twitter last night. I think maybe I was just, and I just kind of picked on a bunch of charts. I kind of want to be the guy that comes in here and just tells you a beautiful story and throws a couple of lines and, tell you that I have it figured out, or there's an amazing story here. Listen, I just, if it's a wave one top and if it's a wave five, market will show us. I think the minimum we got to break below these levels. If we do, I think I'm going to increase shorts heavily. And I'm going to look. I know, they're not going to send it off straight ahead. They're going to, how these market makers are, right? They target the previous low and then they quickly bounce it back higher. They take the stops and they shake you out and they try again. And it's never that easy. But so this is first level that I'm watching. Then it's going to be this level. And then by that time, we're probably going to be in a wave two. I am getting a little bit of help in direction, again, from the prior swings. And then I'm also looking at kind of what's going on with the averages, right? With the moving average. I'm also watching the distribution days, how many distributions days we have in here. So I'm combining, the Elliott wave with some other technical metrics. So look, we are basically still above the 20, still above the 50. But the market since this day, and I have one where I deleted a bunch of stuff, but there is one where I track in the S&P kind of what happened. I don't know. Maybe I lost it. Anyway, it's somewhere over here into my stuff. But I just kind of make notes of kind of what happened. And I know this day here, it's the day where we had those China news. Here, the Fed cut rates and they started the so-called bond purchase. It freaked the market out a little bit in here. I know we're going to have Friday a job number, but I just don't see that healthy of a market. So if we break below the 50-day and the 20-day, that's going to be my number one clue. If we break below this one, that's, clue number two. And then, by that time, at least we'll have a direction on the market and I'll continue to press that. So that's where that's where my thoughts are. Now, if I go and I take a look at the Nasdaq Composite, it's I wanted to show you, and I'm going back and forth. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit all over, but I wanted to show you something. So how I told you that I have kind of ways of looking to see if the market is it's got strength or in terms of risk, if it looks good. This is what tells me that it doesn't. So this is a ratio, and it's between LQD and IEF, right? So that's the investment grades corporate bonds and the 10-year Treasury bond, the 7 to 10-year Treasury bond. So when this line moves down, what we have is we have Wall Street moving from risk towards safety, moving from buying corporate bonds to buying Treasury bonds. They want to hide in there. And this, I watched this plenty of times, and it is when it moves in the opposite direction, when it moves down in opposite direction of the market, it usually rings a sign that Wall Street is getting defensive. And you can see this in the S&P 500 price action. Although you can see that it's kind of squeezing and it just kind of sits in there, and it's really not able to create some nice breakouts, and the stocks are all over the place. You hear these people on Twitter, there is breadth participation, it's expanding, it's rotating, it's bullshit. It doesn't exist. It does. If it would be, then the market will move higher. Okay, the S&P, there's a little bit of a move in the Dow, but none of the markets since October they have gone anywhere. So I'm asking, like, what's going on in here? They're hiding into these, and they're just, they're not showing, because it takes a bit of time for them to get out of the positions. So as they get out of the positions, this ratio in here kind of shows that they're moving towards safety. There's plenty others. But this is the one that's kind of the scariest for me. Am I cherry picking this one? I don't think so. I think there's plenty of other evidence that shows that, the number of stocks above the 200, the number of stocks above the 50, the advanced decline line, it's diverging in different indexes. So it's just the number of distribution days is rising. The market are sensitive. I don't know in how many ways I can sell this, but I just don't like this market. So and I think the number one sign that it tells me that the market is a bit unhealthy in here is because I'm not able to make any profits on any of the positions, or on some of the on most of the positions, let's say, that I have. So either I'm in the wrong shed, or something else is going on. So we'll see. But that's kind of my thoughts on here. Then I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I'm seeing a Bitcoin that is failing. That it's trying to rally above 94, and it can do it. It can do it. It's got a corrective pattern now. And yes, we are above the 50 and above the 20, but excuse me, until we are back above, and I'm going to go on the weeklies here. I mean, look at this chart. Until we're back above this green line, in my view, there is no point in being bullish Bitcoin. You're going against the move. And this move, it's been down and now slightly corrective for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 weeks in here. God, it's annoying. So I'm watching it, but I need to see it get back above this 104 with conviction, with some heavy volume. This is a pathetic volume. There's nothing there, and every time they jump, they kick it back down. So somebody doesn't like Bitcoin to go up, or at the moment it's just not responding. And this is the swing, this is the head in here, and if they want to do this, so be it. If they're going to be able to get it about 104, I'm all for it, because it, I've seen situations where it looks like it and then it just continues to go. That's fine, I'm good with that. But right now it's just not doing anything smart in here. Bitcoin, I told you about XRP. These type of moves. I mean, first of all, this coin is a messed up coin, because it's just, it just goes and comes down, and it does all kind of crazy shit. But right here, it just moves higher. Some kind of a news, I don't even know, and it's getting rejected. This is, you don't want to have, if there is a powerful trend beginning, it needs to be tied and continue to hold and continue to move. These are fades. So what else I wanted to show you? Was there anything else here that kind of looked interesting? Oh, let me go back to the wave count. And okay, so Nasdaq Composite, again, pathetic, not doing much. Semiconductors, yeah, they had a good move. But what is this up here? Because we were watching, remember when it came down and we talked about the fourth wave and the continuous direction with the RSI near 50, between 40 and 50, which should bounce on drops on an uptrend. And, I guess really there's no argument here with the semiconductors. They still look good. But I mean, if you look at this formation in here, I don't know. I just don't see this bullish right here. The way this moves, and the RSI is dropping, so Nvidia is not acting right. Russell is the one that it's also funky, because look, you got this here. If you have a 1, 2, a wave 3 that's messed up, a 4, and now if we did a 5, that should be done, and we maybe that's a 1 and some kind of a flat in 2, and we roll over. Or this was an ABC. Remember, we talked yesterday about breaking of this B wave high. Well, if that's a 1 and a 2, an ending diagonal doesn't look like this. So if it's a 1 and a 2, then this should be the beginning of a larger 3, 4, and 5. And if that happens, then this wave 5 will become bigger than a wave 3, which invalidates the count, which means that this is likely a wave 2, and a much larger move begins. So there's a lot of thoughts going through my head. I'm not trying to confuse you in here, but I'm just kind of telling you kind of what goes through my head. I'm just getting thoughts in here. So this, I wouldn't do anything with it. I really wouldn't. Not right now. Not by the way this broke in here, and by the way this looks, and by the way the rest of the market is. It just doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence. So, guys, long story short, you can probably sense my frustration with this. And, thank goodness today is the last video, because tomorrow I'm in LA. Friday, Saturday, I'll be back on Monday. Hopefully the market clears itself out somehow until then. And if I do any moves, I'll probably put some stuff on Twitter. But for right now, I have a slight long tilt. I'm hedged about 80%, if not 90%. Maybe I'm only about 10% long. So we'll see what happens, because some of the hedges that I have, they're if they start moving, they will move stronger than I think my long stocks will decline. So that's my bet there. I don't want to be fully short exposure in here, but if I need to, I will increase that. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.